Alright, so second chance doing this. This time it's just me hiking, no chariot behind me, so as you can tell the bugs are still bad, but I have a long sleeve shirt this time, so hopefully that'll be better. Today we're off to Geraldine Falls. Alright, so yeah, you can see the jumping up and down already. I have you mounted to my walking stick, so it's a little bit of a different view than when I was biking. It's a little bit stable there. I was just trying different things, and no other real excuse. So that gave you a little bit better view there of where I had my camera mounted onto my walking stick. So we're off to Geraldine Falls, and so that means a 4.4 kilometer hike. And as you can tell right here, a lot of it at the beginning is very uphill climb. Not to say this is the most difficult uphill, but it is a moderate climb. And for the most part, you're walking, like you can see, around rocks and around a lot of upturned roots from various trees. Alright, so there's a lot of uphill climb up to this point. A lot of it's upturned roots from trees, which are really tall. This is supposed to be the easy part. I hear it gets harder from here, but I'm still feeling lucky. 4 kilometers in from the start, we should find ourselves Geraldine Falls. So for the first part of your journey for this hike, you're going to be going through some really thick trees, as you can maybe tell here, and they're really tall too, so it's something to behold, especially if you're not used to it, or if you're from Edmonton, which I am now, and it's really flat. So these trees are really tall in comparison to anything you see around there. But for the most part, it's not the most difficult uphill climb, but it is hard enough. It'll push you a little bit, especially with all these rocks and whatnot. Alright, as you can tell right now on here, there are areas as well that have streams and little brooks that kind of run through the path. This is quite a washed out path too, so in areas it's kind of muddy and it has remnants of like where a stream would be if there's a really harsh rainfall days before. So I definitely wouldn't recommend this path if you are to do it during or after a rainstorm of some sort. Found me a bench. What I've noticed, so this is a decently popular hike. A couple times now that I've been passed by with a family and some light hiking going on, so it's still giving me a workout though, but hopefully the narrator can tell you exactly how far I am right now, but right now I'm feeling about a kilometer in. No markers at this point, so it's complete guess, but we'll see how far I'm off. As you can tell down there in the bottom left corner, we're about 0.8 kilometers in at that point. I'm still kind of walking over some mucky little areas that got washed out, and I don't believe there was a harsh rainstorm anytime before I came through here, so what you're seeing is a decent dry area for this trek. Keep that in mind if you're planning on doing this Geraldine hike. Alright, so here's where you guys mounted up on the top of my head now. So this is starting to get more exciting. You start a little bit of a downhill climb. You can hear the water rushing in the background when you're doing this. So it gets a little bit exciting because you know that there's at least a lake down there. Now, this downhill climb is still rocky, so I would still take your time going down here. And you encounter things like this little brook that you kind of got a washed out log to walk over. That all said, once you cross this, things start to get a lot more picturesque and a lot more beautiful. So you're leaving the tree inside hike and you're starting to enter what to me is comparable to the Trans-Canada Highway when you're driving through Ontario passing by the Great Lakes, because you get mountains, you get some lake, and you get trees, tree line, all within one little hike. And sometime to the victor go the spoils. If you look really hard, you might be able to see the waterfall in the very, very far distance in the mountains there. But I was trying to, it was really hard to see with all the sun on me. That's where you'll end up going. Now, halfway through this lake is where I managed to lose some of the sunlight. The fall weather started to creep in on me, and it started to get a little bit colder, but not too bad. It's just because the sun was off of me. That said, it was a beautiful walk. It's a 1 kilometer hike or thereabouts from one end to the lake to the other end, and it's well worth that part of the hike. This is, like I said, one of the best parts, one of my most enjoyable parts of this entire hike. If you further on, past the waterfall, past the large climb that's involved there, you can actually go to further more sheds of water of lakes, because it's called the Geraldine Lakes because there's multiple ones. This is just the lower lake, which would be your first one that you encounter. So as you can tell, here is where it gets a little bit more difficult. There's a lot of rocks, varying in sizes, as you can tell, and I had to walk in and about this for another kilometer, I'd say, that took me into where the waterfall is. So this is just after, this is the north side of lower Geraldine Lake, and this is what you have to encounter for that last leg of the journey. I would caution you though, make sure you take your time, as I didn't. Doing this a couple times in a row so I can get the possible better camera angles. I managed to twist my ankle on a couple occasions, so that's never fun, especially when you're by yourself out in the woods. Just twist your ankle, hurt yourself, and then you may get stuck. So I would caution you to take your time on these rocks, as they're very misleading. And also, seeing as this is a clearing that you'd see for the first little while, this may be inviting to some other various animals, mountain goats, etc. hear me right now. That's a good thing, because we made it.